President Reagan summons his advisors to deal with the Iran controversy, and the common market votes sanctions against Syria.
NBC Nightly News with Tom Brokaw.
Good evening. It is taking shape as one of the most controversial foreign policy developments of President Reagan's years in office. The reports of a secret White House operation to ship Iran military supplies in exchange for help in freeing 3 American hostages. As details of this operation have unfolded, congressional critics have threatened hearings, claiming that laws may have been broken. There were reports that Secretary of State Shultz might resign. Allies were unhappy that the administration seemed to be setting a double standard, urging them not to negotiate with terrorists while conducting negotiations in behalf of U.S. hostages. As NBC's Andrea Mitchell reports tonight, all of this is getting White House attention at the highest levels.
At the White House, a crisis atmosphere and the president avoiding all questions. Foreign policy advisors arrived for the first National Security Council meeting since dealings with Iran were exposed. Secretary of State Shultz did not resign. Sources said there was no flare-up at today's meeting. Chief of Staff Regan acknowledged that the administration's credibility is at stake, but the decision was to continue official silence about what really happened. And when asked about congressional investigations into the national security operation, Regan said there are such things as executive privilege, you know, implying that the president would exercise his right to withhold information for national security reasons. To protect the president from being able to hear reporters' questions during the annual Marine Corps birthday celebration, the White House called in the Marines, stationing them between reporters and the president. And spokesman Larry Speaks said news coverage of the secret talks had made negotiations for the remaining hostages very difficult, and that very real hopes for their release had been dashed again. Speaks said what was done to get the other hostages out was legal, proper, and right. But sources told NBC News that starting last January, military supplies stockpiled in this warehouse near Washington were sent to Israel, replacing similar equipment sent by Israel to Iran. Former hostage Father Lawrence Jenko expressed dismay that his freedom was apparently purchased with weapons.
Trading of arms for me symbolizes violence. It's sad that they have chosen to do this route.
While still refusing to explain his role, former National Security Advisor Robert McFarlane insisted that U.S. policy toward Iran has not changed.
We will not make concessions to terrorists in any way or to contribute in any fashion to its continuation.
And the outgoing Senate Foreign Relations Chairman defended the secret negotiations.
I don't think it was either unethical nor will it endanger Americans. Quite to the contrary, we're attempting to play a role in the Middle East.
The White House says that at today's meeting, the president's foreign policy advisor supported his decisions regarding Iran unanimously. Secretary Shultz and Defense Secretary Weinberger, both known to have recommended against arms shipments to Iran, may be playing good soldier, but those close to them say that neither is happy about the secret White House operation. Andrea Mitchell, NBC News, at the White House.
Although there has been no official confirmation, it seems quite clear tonight that the Iran operation was run out of the NSC, the National Security Council, a powerful agency within the White House designed to closely coordinate and even execute the president's foreign policy. During Henry Kissinger's tenure as director, the NSC became even more powerful than the State Department. And as NBC's Art Kent reports tonight, in the Reagan administration, it remains an active agency, and one of its most controversial employees was apparently hip deep in the Iran operation.
When Marine Lieutenant Colonel Oliver North was seen in Cyprus last week, coincidental with the release of hostage David Jacobson, it fit his role as being a key operator in the Reagan administration's covert foreign policy. Congressional critics complain that the NSC staff, including Colonel North, has been carrying out Reagan administration plans that circumvent other government departments, the Congress, and in some cases perhaps the law. Oliver North was a member of the Naval Academy class of 1968. He earned a Silver Star and 2 Purple Hearts in Vietnam, then went into the covert action business. In 1980, when the operation to free American hostages in Iran was launched, North and a team of Marines were waiting at a Turkish staging base codenamed Inhabit to act as a covering force. After joining the NSC staff, North, among other things, planned the interception of the hijackers of the Achille Lauro, helped plan the invasion of Grenada. And in May of 1984, when Congress cut off aid to the Nicaraguan Contras, North was put in charge of continuing the assistance through a private network of former CIA and military personnel. Jack Terrell was involved in Contra-8 operations in Costa Rica.
Now, Oliver North would have to have almost complete knowledge of any plots or plans or shipments or activities.
After Eugene Hassenfuss was shot down running arms to the Contras last month, telephone records from the safe house where he lived in El Salvador showed frequent calls to North's private number in Washington. Rarely photographed, North is described by congressional sources as the man in charge of the administration operation to trade military supplies to Iran for American hostages held in Lebanon.
And I don't believe the National Security Council is that agency that should implement foreign policy.
Congressional attempts to probe the actions of North and the NSC have so far been stymied by claims of executive privilege. Congress also wants to know whether in short-circuiting the foreign policy process, the administration has broken any laws. Art Kent, NBC News, Washington.
And there are reports out of Syria tonight that 2 French hostages were released in West Beirut today. Reportedly, they were handed over to Syrian officials. The French have been working separately from the Americans to free their citizens who have been abducted in West Beirut. The hostages released tonight were identified as 85-year-old Camille Sontag and 54-year-old Marcel Koudari. And earlier today, the European Common Market decided to go along with Great Britain's request for sanctions against Syria. Great Britain has charged that Syria was directly responsible for an attempted act of terrorism. As NBC's Sandy Gilmore reports tonight, all but one of the Common Market countries agreed that something now must be done.
The foreign ministers' meeting produced only mild sanctions with brave talk.
A clear conclusion that that which has happened in support of international terrorism is unacceptable.
The ministers agreed to authorize no new arms sales to Syria, to suspend high-level visits to or from Syria, to review Syrian diplomats' activities, and to tighten security around Syrian airline operations. British officials claim to have found a Syrian connection when they convicted Nizar Hindawi of attempting to blow up an Israeli airliner. But it was apparent that not all of the 12 European ministers were satisfied with the evidence.
I'm not a detective. I have neither the training or the talent to be a detective. I am a politician.
The French foreign minister suggested France was not blaming the Syrian government itself. That may be because France has been in delicate negotiations to get hostages released from Lebanon. French television tonight gave prominent coverage to a Washington Times interview with Prime Minister Jacques Chirac, in which Chirac appeared to suggest that the El Al affair was an Israeli attempt to embarrass Syria. Of alleged U.S. arms sales to Iran, Chirac says they don't even bother to conceal what they are doing, so much for Western solidarity. Ministers today said they did not talk about hostages or Iranian arms sales, but Sir Geoffrey Howe made Britain's position clear.
And not engage in bargaining about the future of hostages or anything of that kind.
The European stand on Syria is not what Britain originally hoped for. It's clear that most European countries will continue to deal with terrorism in their own way and in their own national interests. Sandy Gilmore, NBC News, London.
Israeli officials have flatly denied they staged that attempted bombing of the El Al airliner in an attempt to embarrass the Syrians. Also coming up here tonight on NBC Nightly News, Kenley Jones reporting on the growing concern in North and South Carolina on this: school bus accidents in which the drivers were teenagers. And Mike Jensen tonight on the blue chip record sales of the blue-collar rock and roller, the boss, Bruce Springsteen.
I got a new truck, it's a Ranger, you know. Got the looks I want and it is ready to go. Plenty of room with all the power to run. On or off the road, my Ranger's ready for fun. Let it roll! Driving a Ranger down the highway. Driving a Ranger. Let it roll! Driving a Ranger. Do it my way. Driving a Ranger now.
Ford Ranger, built fun tough.
Which cereal has more vitamin nutrition than any other? Kellogg's Product 19 cereal. But you'd never guess.
Oh?
Because Product 19 vitamins are flaky, bumpy, crispy, crunchy, and taste so good. 100% of 12 vitamins and minerals, all in these tasty flakes.
Delicious.
Kellogg's Product 19.
Flaky.
Bumpy.
Crispy. Crunchy.
Tasty vitamins.
The world is red, the world is white. New Almaden wine, they taste just right. A red with flair, a white so right. The beauty of Almaden red and white.
New Almaden Vintage Red, rich and robust. New Almaden Vintage White, crisp and clean.
A red with flair, a white so right. The beauty of Almaden red and white.
Uncomplicated pleasures from Almaden.
Philippines President Corazon Aquino received two important promises today. In Japan, where she began a 4-day state visit, she was promised $250 million in loans. In the Philippines, she was promised that her military would not overthrow her government while she is gone. However, as NBC's Keith Miller reports now from Manila, that promise could be broken.
Mrs. Aquino used her departure for Japan to give the impression she was firmly in control and in step with her military, even though her aides were warning her of a possible coup. She told her opponents not to try to take advantage of her absence.
Any coup or other military action by misguided elements must contend with my opposition, which means with the power of the people, in order to succeed.
Her remarks did not ease the uncertainty. The people who oppose her say she has been too soft in dealing with communist rebels. Some of the officials who came to see her off are the ones most widely accused of not wanting to see her return. Defense Minister Juan Ponce Enrile is accused by presidential aides of instigating a rebellion within the army aimed at ousting leftist members of the cabinet and seizing power for himself. Newspapers reported today that Enrile is launching a challenge to Aquino's authority that she can't afford to ignore. The armed forces have been ordered on combat alert, and the Chief of Staff, General Fidel Ramos, has banned all unauthorized troop movements. It was not enough to reassure Vice President Laurel, who said with Aquino in Japan, he didn't know who was running the country.
The situation is fluid, and therefore anything can happen. We're talking about possibilities, that anything is possible.
Security checks were established throughout the capital tonight. Aquino's supporters were told to remain vigilant. One cabinet minister said tonight that if there is any push to topple the Aquino government, he can count on 2 million people to take to the streets to stop it. Keith Miller, NBC News, Manila.
The Soviet Foreign Minister Eduard Shevardnadze accused the United States today of trying to back out of arms agreements that it made at the Iceland summit. He appeared at his first Moscow news conference for Soviet and foreign reporters. Shevardnadze claimed that the superpowers had agreed to eliminate all strategic weapons within 10 years, not just ballistic weapons. And he said American arms control proposals were what he called a political theater of the absurd. Vyacheslav Molotov, one of the last of the original Bolsheviks, has died in Moscow at the age of 96. For more than a quarter of a century, Molotov was Stalin's right-hand man. The son of a shopkeeper, Molotov joined Lenin, Trotsky, and Stalin in the 1917 revolution. He turned to Western allies to fight Hitler, then turned against the West after World War II and triggered the Cold War. But when Nikita Khrushchev won power in 1954, Molotov began a quick slide into political disgrace. He ended his days as an old-age pensioner. When Molotov was premier in 1940, Finns battling invading Soviet troops named their crude gasoline bombs after him. It was called the Molotov cocktail. It was a name later used by Hungarian street fighters during the 1956 uprising, even though by then Molotov was out of power.
Traps. I hate them, and they don't always work. So I use decon rat and mouse killers. They're dead sure to kill. Rats in mice simply eat decon and die. So why take chances? Use decon baits. Dead sure to kill.
When you're feeling the stress of everyday life,
Dad, can I keep them?
the pain in the back,
Dad, my new significant other.
the strain in the neck,
Howard, are you familiar with the Incas?
We've met.
When you'd give anything for a massage, turn on the shower massage. Its pulsing jets of water, from gentle to powerful, work through whatever the day has dished out.
Howard, are you in there again?
The original shower massage by Teledyne Waterpick.
I live naturally, always have. So, when my doctor said Metamucil keeps you regular naturally, I gave it a try.
Metamucil's fiber is my doctor's choice. It's a true natural laxative. So these days, I'm my regular self, thanks to Metamucil.
Trust is a delicate thing, not easy to come by. So knowing more doctors trust Metamucil makes me feel better than ever.
Natural fiber Metamucil.
It's tried,
true,
and trusted.
Aren't you going to say anything about this Pontiac 6000?
Oh, you mean about how well it handles, how quick it is, how it's one fine road car?
Well, yeah.
Come on, if I said all that, we'd sound like a car commercial.
We will excite.
No. Singers will do that.
Pontiac!
There's almost 300 American Catholic bishops assembled in Washington today for a 4-day meeting. They were warned that they must deal with the growing division between American Catholics and the Pope. More on that tonight from NBC's Bob Abernethy.
The bishops are divided, and this meeting is dominated by what the bishop's president admitted is a developing estrangement between many American Catholics and Rome.
No one who reads the newspapers of the past 3 years can be ignorant of the growing and dangerous dissatisfaction of elements of the Church in the United States from the Holy See.
The greatest current symbol of this tension, Archbishop Raymond Hunthausen of Seattle, disciplined by the Pope, stripped of many of his powers because of his liberal policies, for instance, toward divorce and homosexuality. Tomorrow, behind closed doors, the bishops consider the Hunthausen affair, and his supporters want a protest to Rome.
The best thing that could happen would that we would get a strong consensus on the part of the bishops to ask that his full authority be restored as the Archbishop of Seattle.
But conservative bishops back the Pope.
The conference itself does not have competence in this issue.
Also today, the bishops neared approval of their controversial pastoral letter on the U.S. economy, calling for more attention to the poor and for full employment. But a group of lay Catholics, led by former Treasury Secretary William Simon, accused the bishops of not understanding how free enterprise works.
They're proposing government intervention, government spending, all of the tried and true and failed policies of the past.
The principal author of the bishop's letter insists he's not against capitalism, but notes some tension between capitalism and Christianity.
At what point does the self-interest motive cross over to greed?
Also today, evidence of another controversy confronting the bishops, a demonstration against the Vatican's condemnation of homosexuality. Bob Abernethy, NBC News, Washington.
The U.S. Supreme Court refused today to hear a case involving a child's birth defects that a lower court found were caused by a contraceptive jelly. The child's parents sued the company and won. When the High Court rejected the company's appeal today, it upheld the couple's award of almost $5 million.
We're heading home, my GMC truck and me. And every mile takes us closer where we wanna be. Don't call it just a truck, 'cause that's my GMC. And just a truck is not enough for me. We're heading home, my GMC truck and me.
GMC truck. It's not just a truck anymore.
I guess I inherited my arthritis. Pop called it rheumatism. Now they call it osteoarthritis. Thank goodness there's Anacin.
Anacin relieves occasional minor pain of osteoarthritis for hours.
2 Anacin, and that takes care of the pain.
The Anacin formula contains aspirin, the pain-relieving medicine doctors recommend most for arthritis.
I really feel secure using Anacin.
Anacin, doctor recommended for arthritis pain relief. Doctor recommended Anacin, tablets and now coated caplets.
Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. Panasonic offers solutions to your special computer problems. High-speed microprocessors, high-resolution monitors, and high-performance printers, which make them a very easy choice. Panasonic computers and computer peripherals, like our typewriters and copiers, the easier, the better. Panasonic office automation.
There is no more precious cargo than children riding in a school bus, and now there's a controversy in at least 2 southern states where lawmakers have permitted school buses to be operated by young drivers, very young drivers. NBC's Kenley Jones reports that it's a controversy between local school officials and some very worried parents.
Parents have nightmares about scenes like this: an overturned school bus, injured students, frightened cries for help. This accident took place in Winston-Salem, North Carolina last June when a school bus rounded a corner too fast and hit a tree. The driver was a 16-year-old student. Almost all of the 35 students aboard the bus were injured, some of them seriously. The father of 3 of those students is David Farrell.
It's ridiculous that they would take a 16-year-old that's no more than a child himself and put him in charge of the lives and all of my children or anyone else's child.
The use of student bus drivers is widespread in both North and South Carolina, despite a recommendation by the National Transportation Safety Board that 16 and 17-year-olds not be used because their accident rate is higher than that of adults. Concerned parents in both states have organized efforts to force state legislatures to raise the minimum age for school bus drivers to at least 18, preferably 21.
We just think 21 would give us about 5 years of driving experience, and that experience is a very key factor in it.
Myrtle Calhoun's daughter Tracy was killed when an 18-year-old student bus driver ran a red light. But in some school systems, officials defend their students' driving records.
There's an old saying in this area, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. To this point in our system, we've not had significant problems with the utilization of student bus drivers.
Those officials say it would be difficult, especially in rural areas, to find qualified adults to replace student drivers unless the state provides more money to raise wages and benefits.
Any legislation has its price, but I think we need to realize what's at stake. We're talking about children's lives.
Roy Williams' 6-year-old son Patrick was one of 3 South Carolina elementary school students who were run over and killed by school buses during the past year. The buses were driven by 16 and 17-year-olds, although the drivers in these cases were not charged. The other 2 victims were 6-year-old Paul Wilden.
I am sure the accident could have prevented if there had been an older driver.
And 6-year-old Darlene Gattano.
I'm not blaming the student. I'm blaming the state of South Carolina because they are giving these children permission to drive the buses, which is too much responsibility.
We're taking the highest risk age group in America and putting them behind the wheel of school buses. It's almost absurd.
While some local school districts have raised minimum ages for bus drivers, the parents of victims want a statewide law that would take 16 and 17-year-olds out of the driver's seat. Kenley Jones, NBC News, Charleston, South Carolina.
In a last-minute bid to head off the merger of Eastern Airlines with Texas Air, the unions representing Eastern employees offered to buy the airline today. The New York investment firm is underwriting their offer of $600 million cash. The unions are afraid that Texas Air plans to lay off thousands of Eastern employees once the merger goes through. They also went to court today to try to postpone the stockholder vote, which is scheduled for later this month.
The Mercedes-Benz Driving Simulator, a laboratory that moves. Computerized hydraulics producing realistic driving forces. Computerized projectors creating a lifelike driving world. Allowing engineers to analyze the responses of ordinary drivers in extraordinary moments. Duplicating any driving situation in total safety. Mercedes-Benz continues to learn the secrets of automotive science. And the automotive world continues to learn from Mercedes-Benz.
What are you doing at Dow these days, Peggy?
Well, right now I'm working in agricultural research, Grandpa. We're trying to help farmers find new ways to make every dollar work harder.
We want to keep this farm in the family a few more generations.
Pretty tough, isn't it?
You bet. So your dad and brother are going to need all the help they can get.
And you can make a difference in what tomorrow brings.
I won't let you down.
'Cause Dow lets you do great things.
I'm Brian
Matt Gumbel tomorrow morning on Today how some cities are successfully fighting crime.
I'm Jane Pauley, more with Julie Nixon Eisenhower and more of our series on character actors.
Tomorrow on Today.
Introducing Metaprin, when your body hasn't got time for the pain.
I haven't got time for the pain. I haven't got room for the pain. No, I haven't got time for the pain anymore.
Metaprin with ibuprofen, once only in prescription strength, relieves body pain, even minor arthritis pain fast, and it's gentler to your stomach than aspirin.
I haven't got time for the pain.
When your body hasn't got time for the pain. New Metaprin from the makers of Tylenol products.
He's called the Boss, America's biggest rock and roll star, Bruce Springsteen. And if there were any questions about his place in the galaxy, they ended today when his latest album went on sale. It's a compilation of Springsteen's live performances of the last 10 years. And as NBC's Mike Jensen reports tonight, it is not only big business, it is a reaffirmation of the special place the Boss occupies in the hearts of his fans.
One at $39.99.
Jack's Music in Red Bank, New Jersey was sold out by 2 o'clock and ordering more. All over America, Springsteen fans were buying and remembering.
Bruce saved my life. I mean, during periods when I was really depressed, he inspired me.
For me personally, he is a spiritual leader and moral conscience.
What makes Bruce Springsteen special is that he is more than just a singer. He is a philosopher for the common man, a modern-day troubadour.
He sees a blue-collar class, the people who built America, as somehow betrayed by the system and by the changing values in this country, which don't recognize and reward working people and give them the security they should have.
You've been waiting a long time for it. We finally got it in. Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band live.
One of the songs in Springsteen's new album is called Seeds. It's about the economic devastation in Houston and places like it caused by the decline of the oil industry.
Pitched on the highway in the dirty moonlight, and I don't know where I'm gonna sleep tonight.
Even Born in the USA, which is often mistakenly seen as an anthem of praise for America, is really a song of despair of a Vietnam veteran returning to a country which he believes has betrayed him.
Send me off to a foreign land to go kill the ghetto.
So today they lined up to buy an estimated 1 million new albums by the man they call the Boss. A man with a guitar who has touched the conscience of a generation. Mike Jensen, NBC News, New York.
The sales record for any album is held by Michael Jackson's Thriller. It sold more than 35 million copies. The new Springsteen album may not sell as many, but at prices up to $30 a copy, it is expected to earn even more. Teach your children to sing rock and roll. That's Nightly News for this Monday night. I'm Tom Brokaw. I'll see you tomorrow night.
Tonight, a soldier comes home to his greatest enemy.
War doesn't give you cancer, Frank.
One woman.
Who is she?
Some lady been asking around about the sprain, and now.
Two heroes who fought a faceless enemy.
You gotta make them listen, Mort.
And one.
Don't worry, baby. You're not alone anymore.
An unforgettable cast and movie, Unnatural Causes.